First off, Parker, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. It's an absolute pleasure to get you on to talk about your latest single, Last Rodeo. We're going to be talking about that song here in a few minutes, but first we got to get to know you a little bit more. So you are originally from Ontario, now living in BC. You are a singer-songwriter of the country genre, but for those who may not know you as well, tell us a bit about your musical journey and a bit about yourself.
Yeah. So first off, thanks so much for having me. I just appreciate you so much. And it's always so nice to chat with you and see your face. Yeah. So I was born in really Ontario and I kind of moved my way across the country. I lived a little bit in Alberta and found myself in Vancouver eventually out of nowhere. And I've always been in music and I've always been obsessed with music and in all different ways and all different genres. And I started in pop and I thought that that was kind of like my lane and my place. And the catalyst was actually Do Over, the first single. And the guy that I had met that I wrote it with was like, this is kind of your thing. And I was like, this is my thing. What have I been doing in all these other places? So that kind of popped everything off. And I just like, I'm so obsessed with writing stuff that people feel and like kind of taking both sides of the breakup where it's like you get to experience the feelings like in the moment. And then if you listen to an old song, or sorry, if you listen to one of the songs and it kind of catapults you back, you get to kind of see how far you've come. So there's all these different facets and sides to heartbreak. And so some people just see it as a singular thing and I kind of see it as the full spectrum. So I love being able to like share that with people.
Your music, I've gotten to know it over the last few years, and you have Do Over, Before You Leave, Cowboys Go, and now Last Rodeo, which we're going to be talking about here in a couple of minutes once again, but you're on a mission to make country music sad again.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, baby. Bring back the tears. Make it hurt. To be honest, so back when we were in the middle of the pandemic, I was very heavily involved in the app Clubhouse. And someone had said in a room, they were like, your profile bio should be like really hooky and catchy. And it was a joke at first. And although like I really love writing sad songs, the slogan was like a complete kind of like hook, line, and sinker just to get people to look at my profile. And then it ended up just sticking. And then once we started like, once Do Over came out and Before You Leave came out, and then we released Last Time. And Last Time was like kind of the catalyst of sadness. Like that was like the deepest moment of sadness. I was like, this thing really is going to stick. And at the end of the day, like people are like, it's, why don't you like release a party track or do something like that? And I'm like, I love feelings and I love making people feel things. And I love getting to like share my personal experiences. And I think I've been in such this crazy developmental phase the last 10 years that like, I think it would be foolish to not share those experiences with people. And I know people really love like club bangers and like, you know, drinking songs, but my heart is just in sad music. And I think that's the stuff that I'm just naturally attracted to as well, as that story and the feeling and that moment when like the knife goes into your stomach and they turn a little bit, you're like, oh, that hurt, but like amazing in the best way.
It
So
hurts so good.
yeah, exactly. So I kind of search for those moments in my songwriting and like in my personal experiences, which I don't know, maybe I'm a sucker for punishment, but
Well, I think everybody's kind of dubbed it Saddie for Baddies. Is what they
saddies for
called your
the
genre
bad.
now?
Yeah, okay, so that was another thing was like that was a joke kind of, and then it has evolved into this thing, and then I called out Casey Musgraves because she made a tweet about it, and I mean, we can be sad girls and baddies at the same time. I think that is a very, that's us, that's you and I. There's tons more of us out here. So yeah, we've kind of dubbed the songs saddies for the baddies, which is amazing.
Absolutely love it. Now, you do have a new Saddie for Baddies out there called Last Rodeo, and this song is actually a fairly personal one as well. So tell us a bit about the song here.
Yeah, I went in, so we started writing for the EP and I went in thinking like, I was in a kind of a relationship and I was so happy and I was like, oh my gosh, like, how am I gonna write sad songs? I'm in such a good place. And it's like I landed in Nashville and things just went sideways. Kind of, they have went sideways. And so I had the title Last Rodeo for a long time. And I really liked the dichotomy between rodeos and like that push pull and like that like sitting on the sidelines and like watching someone in a rodeo, and like that intensity and the spirit and the energy and like the disappointment that can come with that. And I mean competition in general, but and then how that kind of related to love. And so we talked about that a little bit in the session with Kate and Tori, and then this situation happened with this guy, and I was like, I just feel like I'm like waiting for the other shoe to drop, and I'm holding out hope for something, and I'm not willing to give up because I see something really great here, but I'm gonna let it be him to make that decision, which is also kind of silly. But so last rodeo came out, and there's so many pieces in it that like we saw later of like, oh, this is so much more to the rodeo thing than we thought. Like it wasn't intentional. And then looking back, I'm like, actually, this is so cool. It's probably one of the more upbeat songs that you'll hear from me this year, but I love it. There's something about it that is super special, and it's still like, it just means a lot. Like it's a different feeling for me from the other songs, and I'm so glad it's finally out.
Well, it is one of the most gorgeous, gorgeous songs, and everybody's going to love it, and they're going to want to hear it now. So, of course, where can everybody find more about you and your music?
So you can find me on all the social platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, at Parker Graye, just my name, Graye, and www.parkergraye.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Parker.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.